Coach, when you guys went down 15 late, that's as angry as we've seen you in a while. Were you upset with the effort of the team, or?
No, we just keep making the same mistake. Same guy keeps making the same mistake over and over and over again. And the same thing happened at Alabama. Same thing happened in this game. It gets frustrating.
You're almost 30 games into the season at this point. You are what you are, or can these things be improved?
Hopefully they'll be improved. If not, we'll be playing home games in the NIT.
Yeah, you've said that the same guy keeps making the same mistake over and over. I guess, what are your options there? What
I
can
don't have any options. If I had options, I'd be playing other guys. I don't have other. We're playing who we have to play. Those guys have to get it fixed. I've tried. We've exhausted all options.
Hello and welcome to Tigers Roar. I'm Jonathan Poche, joined by the Budman Buddy Sanji here at Scoreboards 10655 Coursey Boulevard, right between Sherwood and Airline Highway. It's a spicy episode of Tigers Roar. You saw Will Wade right there, a guy with not a lot of answers. LSU falls to Kentucky last night, lost 4 out of 5. Budman, not a good time for the tires to start sputtering for LSU basketball with 5 games left.
Happy Wednesday, and hope all of you doing well on this cloudy, rainy hump night in the capital city of Baton Rouge. The sunglasses are back. You know, I used to wear them in football season after a bad loss. And we just went through an incredible year, so I didn't have to bring them out. But really, I have them on tonight because I don't want to see LSU play defense anymore. No boss, no boss.
79-76, Budman. LSU did not play well on defense, had a lot of mistakes, did make a run late to try to make it close, couldn't end it. A lot of these games early in the season, LSU was winning at the very end, last minute drives, last second drives, not getting it done as of late. I mentioned 4 out of the last 5 they dropped. SEC record now 9-4, 5 games less to SEC tournament. The heard Will Wade get asked this question: can they fix this, or is this just who this basketball team is?
Well, look, all due respect to Coach Wade, he's done a heck of a job and he's in year 3, but I have a lot of spicy comments tonight. Brought to you by Man Defined Meats, for flavor and spice, and JP and TK and Marty and everybody over here at Pelican really do say it all. Look, let's get right into it. You're coming off the greatest football season that you've ever seen in Tiger Town. But here's the other thing. You have so much entertainment, so much fun, so much excitement, 48 points, and all these incredible things that you had in football. A long season, never before had they played 15. And so it's a late start to get into basketball. All of a sudden you wake up and say, wow, LSU's 8-0. 8-0 in hoops. This is going to be awesome. The karma from football has transitioned over to basketball. And now we talk about the last 5 games. JP, they are giving up an average of about 87 points per game. And, you know, one thing my dad always taught me, playing hoops, and I wasn't nearly as good as, obviously, we're talking about in the backyard and in high school, but when somebody's hot, cheat over there and get over there. That's and right. Put a hand in his face. And LSU continues to guard the 3-point with no regards to the line, no regards to fighting through screens, and no regards to help defense. I've never seen an LSU defense under Will Wade so poor with dribble drive penetration. They've got nobody, and now granted, you don't have the 2 rim protectors, and Naz Reid, who was in the student section last night, by the way, and Cavell Big B Williams, who was one of the final cuts with the Pelicans. But this defense has not been fun to watch. Kentucky had the big 5-0 in the second half. And so, JP, this is at a crossroads. Now, Coach Wade, I'm going to disagree with him in this regard. He says he doesn't have anybody else to put in. Well, I'm watching Marlon Taylor, and he hit a 3-ball and he can jump out of the gym. I think he should get more minutes. I'm watching Charles Manning coming back from injuries, and granted, both those guys have been hurt, and he needs more PT. Yeah. Trendon Watford, what do you think he's shooting from 3-point range this year? I know you like him, and I like him. What do you think he's shooting from three-point range?
Well, I know last night he went 1 for 4 for 3. I'm going to assume it's right around that mark for the season, maybe a little over 25%, maybe 30, 31.
26%.
26.
He made his first one, and that I knew was trouble. Here's the kicker, though, JP. 7 assists 3 games ago, 11 last night.
That's right.
And so this is a real crossroads. You got the game on Saturday at South Carolina, 5 o'clock, and then you play at Florida the following Wednesday, a late game at 8 o'clock. And lo and behold, you got to split those two. I mean, I don't think you can afford to lose too many more if you don't lose some of your confidence. There are a lot of people talking about this team is having some internal flare-ups. We saw it on the bench with Skylar and Emmett Williams and Javonte Smart. And, of course, unfortunately, Javonte has played sometimes like he's Javonte, I'm not so smart. So took a 30-footer last night that Will Wade just went crazy over.
Yeah.
He just got 5 individuals instead of a team. And but I'm hoping that Taylor and Manning can give them a little bit more of a PT because they have had trouble with scoring off the bench. And let's give Kentucky credit. 11 blocks last night. They were long, and they used that height to, boy, how about the way Kentucky defends the rim versus the way LSU defends the rim? But all that being said, let's talk about some positives. They did not give up, and they made a great run, and they tried their butts off. Now, he took Watford out at the end and sat him the last 5 minutes. He went to a smaller lineup, and they did make a nice little run. And then we get into the crowd. It's got to be frustrating for Coach Will Wade. He goes to the football games. He sees Tiger Stadium. He knows it can be the toughest place to play on a Saturday night when people are liquored up and on a nighttime kickoff. He sees baseball. They've had 20-something years straight with the most paid tickets of everybody in the country, and now you got basketball. And no disrespect, because I am a blue hair, but this is the midcourt last night.
All that enthusiasm.
Students were there. They brought it last night.
Right.
But so it's a combination of frustration, and that's what I'm going to wrap up and tie it all in a nice little bow. They're not fun to watch, and they're frustrating to watch, and you know that they've got potential. I said this on the radio today. I think they need to get in the room and have a players-only meeting and let it all come out.
Yeah.
Because something is hanging over that head, and you can tell the frustrations of Coach Wade. So, look, you go 16-2 last year, you get spoiled. This team does have some talent. They don't have the size. They don't have the depth. They don't have some of the things they had last year. But let's just hope that they can get it all out and play with a purpose down the stretch, because right now it's just not fun to see these crazy shot selections and not guarding the three and the bad spacing and all the other things. And Coach Wade, he had to say it after the game. Guys, they're just not listening to me.
Making the same
and that's
mistake.
frustrating. You're a dad. You know, kids sometimes do what the heck they want, and it's frustrating.
That's right. We'll talk a lot more LSU basketball here on Tigers Road, but right now we switch to the baseball diamond. LSU had their opening series this past weekend against the Indiana Hoosiers. Took 2 out of 3 games. Good starting pitching. Got a lot of rotation guys in last night against Southern. But LSU picks up the first 2 wins of the year. We talked about who we thought would be the first home run for LSU. I didn't think either one of us said the 2-hole in Cade Doty, but that ball was rocked.
Cade Doty did something that Bo Didier had not done since 2009, hit a home run in his first at-bat. Can you imagine going up to the plate, at the box, and boom, your first at-bat, you go yard? Saul Garza has a couple home runs already. Cabrera has yet to hit one. Beloso has yet to hit one. Buddy's hitting well. Maurice Hampton got a little PT last night. Nick Stars and Jaden Hill have had some moments in the bullpen. Tonight, Eric Walker makes the start. They're playing at Nichols. That game, of course, starts at 6 o'clock. And so by the time you see us, it'll be in the 7th inning or so. and have Eastern Kentucky this weekend. But you got a couple weekends to get all of your roles. And Hal Hughes, you know, he has trouble hitting over the Mendoza line, hitting a career 201. Had a couple of deficiencies in the field, 2 errors and 9 chances. It's not a way for him to stay. So you had Mathis at short, Doty playing third last night, and Gavin Dugas, who did go yard last night. So it's going to be interesting to see. I do like the fact, JP, being ranked 10, 11, and 12 to me is much better than being preseason 1 or 2. It's just too much pressure. That all being said, back to that basketball for a second. Stick with these guys. But you know how it is. They play A&M the next time they play the Pete Maravich Assembly Center on the 29th of February at 11 a.m. They lose one or both of these games, you're going to struggle to get 6,000 in there. So basketball a little frustrating after last year was such a great run.
Talking baseball still, they played the Southern Jaguars last night. Talk about what it does for the city of Baton Rouge to be able to play LSU and Southern. It's such a great idea. Coach Roger Kadar has the Roger Kadar Show here on Pelican. He had a lot to do with bringing those 2 teams together. It's just a great atmosphere for the whole city of Baton Rouge.
No doubt about it. And of course, as we were wrapping up last week, I was talking to Southern AD Roman Banks. Of course, you'll see him with their overtime show right before us. And we were talking about when they're going to play football. They have not officially announced it, but LSU and Southern will play football in 2022 in Tiger Stadium. Can't wait to see those bands together and all the pageantry and all the tailgating. And one other tip of the hat to Roman Banks and Southern. Because LSU's redoing their football field,
right.
The Jags at A.W. Mumford Stadium will host the LSU spring game. Of course, it will be on the SEC network. That will be April the 18th or 19th, I think. And so coming up here, hey, we're going to go to spring ball here in a couple Saturdays, March the 7th. So, but yeah, I like the fact that Roger and Skip and Coach Maneri and now Carrick Jackson, the Southern baseball coach, great relationships. I think it's great for all of the 2 teams.
LSU is in Thibodaux tonight, taking on the Colonels of Nicholls State. Seth Thibodeau's team has not won a game yet this season, but it'll still be a good chance for LSU to really see what they have, try out some new rotations, some new positions. You mentioned Mathis had short. What about your boy going deep? He has some power, little Mathis.
Well, there's no doubt about it. Zach Mathis is, and he looks like Chris Reed. It's so funny because they said this is another Chris Reed, wears the same numbers, has the glasses and all that. Look, it's one of those things where you look what you found. You got him at the JC and it worked out well. He is the consummate ball player, isn't afraid to get his hands in his uniform dirty. Going to be scrappy, going to get the important hits, and he's going to do whatever he has to do to help be one of the leaders. And look, we are taping right now in the 5:30 range, so I don't want anybody to think that I got this afterwards. But come on, Daniel Cabrera. I've waited long enough. He's got to go yard tonight, huh?
Lead off, man. Maybe the first at bat.
Well, I don't know about the first at bat, but I hope he goes yard. And obviously, as we've said, Kay Doty and Sal Garza and LSU. Look, you know how it is. We don't have the T-shirt today, but chicks dig long ball, and so do LSU fans. And JP, going to be interesting to see how this pitching rotation winds up, because if they can get Jaden Hill healthy, man, when you come in and you're throwing 97, 98, and you're throwing it with control.
That's right.
And then, of course, Nick Starr is a big 6'6", 260-pound guy that's been hurt for 2 years. So going to be a lot of fun to see this team evolve on bases.
We'll hear from Coach Paul Maneri about the opening weekend matchup against Indiana Hoosiers. We'll also hear from not new pitcher, but Jaden Hill, sophomore, who did look great on the mound, a big guy that has a rocket arm. He's up a little bit from last year, his miles per hour. Control looks good. You mentioned Storrs. His slider looked incredible. 89 consistent fastball, but that off speed was dangerous over his last performance, I should say. And look, LSU had a lot of arms last year, but dealt with a lot of injuries. They picked up a couple lefties. Need to keep everybody healthy, get those arms so they can shine and keep LSU in a lot of ball games.
Glad they got a couple lefties pitchers this year. Other spring sports, softball's moving up number 6 and 7. And Beth Dorina, Allie Kilpoen has done a great job starting and closing for her. I got a lot of freshmen hitting the long ball for Beth Torina, so they're moving up to the 6-7 range. Of course, track and field's 1 and 2, and we know that all of the spring sports. And how about your boy Mondo Duplantis breaking the world record again?
Right.
This is incredible. We talked a little bit about it last week. He will perform with Sweden in the Olympics. And obviously, we know that that's the brother of Antoine Duplantis. He stayed 1 year, was a real treat. But can you imagine? Look, when I was growing up, the good pole vaulters, 15, 16 feet. I mean, that was really getting up there.
Right.
And then you started to get into 18, and then naturally 19. But to go 20 feet, and look, he's not struggling to get up there, JP.
I want to ask you about that because I'm not sure. As they are going down, when they try to raise the bar higher and higher, do they get a longer pole to try to vault themselves?
I think it's the same
standard pole.
I think it's the same pole, and it is amazing. I don't know all the technical details of pole vaulting, but I do know that he's the greatest pole vaulter that LSU ever has had. How about all these greatest of? Joe Burrow, greatest quarterback, greatest leader. I mean, it's a charmed life that Tiger fans and Jag fans have been living, and we know that if Will Wade and them can get all their differences straightened out and get on the same page, I do think they probably need to have a little get together and eye-to-eye talk and air that thing, because don't you see something's hanging over that team, and I just don't see enough passes. Make the extra pass. It seems like you got 5 guys that are saying, okay, well, he just shot a 3, I'm going to take my 3. And I don't see them making the extra pass or 2 to get a better shot. I really believe that at Carolina and at Florida, Saturday and Wednesday respectively, you've got to win at least one of those. Or here's what happens, JP. Not Joe Burrow, but the LSU basketball fan says, bye-bye, I'm going to put my interest and my money and all my passion and heart in the baseball.
That's right. LSU Gymnastics still rolling. Had 2 meets over this past weekend, the Jim Quarters Invitational, and then home to Baton Rouge PMAC Center to host the 12th-ranked Kentucky Wildcats. 2 first-place finishes. Coach Dede Bruce's crew is still rolling, and of course, Kaya Johnson, 4 weeks in a row, SEC Freshman of the Week. She's outstanding. There were some 10s against Kentucky. LSU put a lot of things together. Coach Dede Bruce said sometimes our girls get a little tense, a little tight when they perform in the PMAC. They didn't really show it against Kentucky. 197.500 to 196.625. You know, when you win by a whole number, you did something special.
Well, and the important thing there, of course, is as you get over 197, they had 197.875 on Friday and 197.50 on Sunday. You get to drop those lower scores. So they're going to be moving up. And JP, they want to get into the top 4 of the SEC because that's where you get seeded to participate with all of the top the top teams in the conference. So don't count out Dede Bro and Jay and Bob and everybody on that gymnastics. They are getting some girls back each week with injuries. So, you know, like the Jeffersons, they're trying to move on up again.
We'll also talk a little NBA All-Star Weekend. It was this past weekend, the All-Star Game, the 3-point contest, the skills competition, and of course that new game format with 24 points in the last quarter. I know you watched some of it. It was intense at the end. I mean, guys wanted to win that game, especially get the Kobe Bryant MVP award. There was a big competition for that. Kawhi Leonard ended up bringing it home. Team LeBron did win, but that game got chippy towards the end. They were playing real defense. Kyle Lowry took 2 charges in an NBA All-Star game, which never been happened before, ever. And I enjoyed the new format. It got me thinking, what can the NFL do to kind of spice up this Pro Bowl? Because if you compare the two, that All-Star weekend blew the Pro Bowl out of the water.
Yeah, I don't know how much longer the Pro Bowl is going to exist, JP. They're almost down to playing 2-hand touch with the Pro Bowl, and nobody wants to get hurt, and we understand that. Oh, by the way, if you've been at the beach or on a cruise or wherever, Drew Brees did announce a couple of mornings ago that he's coming back for 2020. That's good news. Obviously, we know that he still wants to have one more go at it. I'm sure it's going to be a year contract and maybe an option year. 41 years old. Look, if that O-line can keep him standing up vertical, then he's good enough. Now, TK always griped about his arm strength and getting worse each year. But the only problem I had with Drew last year was in that Minnesota game right there by the red zone. He let them knock the ball away from him and had the turnover, and he's got to be smarter than that, throw that thing away. But, you know, we'll see what happens. Bridgewater, by the way, are you friends with Teddy Bridgewater? Because he's getting ready to get a $30 million a year contract with whoever he signs with. Can you imagine if you know how to play quarterback and you're good enough to be in the NFL? Baby, there's a real need for you.
Yeah, I don't know if his agent might have leaked that $30 million number out there.
But still,
Look, Teddy did go 5-0 for the Saints last year, but in 2 of those games, the team couldn't score 14 points, one 12-point win, one 13-point win. The defense played outstanding. I like Teddy's story. I'm rooting for the guy. But if he's getting $30 million a year, more power to him.
Well, there's no doubt about it, and I think there's a lot of validity with what you said. That probably was wishful thinking, Father, from the agent. But still, whether it's 20 or 25 million, he's going to get a heck of a lot more. Pretty sure last year he's on a 1-year deal for $7.5 million.
That's right.
So Von Bell's a guy that they're trying to lock up, and obviously trying to get more help from Michael Thomas so that people can't double him so much. But I hope that they have one more good run with him, because let's be honest, Drew's days are numbered. Hey, you just hate to see them leave the way they've done the last couple, 3 years.
That's right. Drew Brees said he's ready for another run at it. He will reap the rewards in the end. We all hope so, because we've watched heartbreaking loss season after season so far with his past 3 seasons for the New Orleans Saints. Drew Brees has a team around him that doesn't need him to be at his best, but still, a 41-year-old Drew Brees, just in the month of December last year, 15 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He was still playing at a very high level. Saints go 13-3. You know the story at the playoffs. Heartbreaker again, Minnesota. But hey, who knows what could happen? Drew Brees believes he can do it again. New Orleans Saints fans have to be enamored. He's coming back. Personally, Bud, man, I never allowed myself to believe he wasn't coming back, because when that day does come, I'm going to be one bummed out Who Dat Nation fan.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That will affect a lot of people. Of course, I'm going to take the sunglasses off after we come back from break, because we were talking about all the negativity, but we'll kick it up a notch. And hey, a couple of other tidbits and big stories. Obviously, Rob Manfred getting a lot of criticism. He's not doing a real good job. He's got foot and mouth disease as the MLB commissioner. Everybody pointing the fingers at the Astros.
Yeah.
Talking about how bad they cheated. Are you telling me Belichick's never cheated before? I mean, let's be honest. We cheat on our taxes. We drive faster than the speed limit. I mean, there's a lot of cheating going on in the world, but a lot of people upset about the Astros, and it will be interesting. Dusty Baker's already telling the commissioner, hey, don't let these guys be thrown out.
Right.
We got Altuve, who had some controversy with his undershirt, and then Bregman, who hadn't done much to put the fire out.
Yeah.
It's a little spicy. But Rob Manfred is not real smart the last couple of days.
It's almost like he's just trying to say anything he can to take the focus off of the Astros. Like, throw pie at me, no matter, like the playoff format he came up with. He had to be drinking when he said, oh, if you're the top seed, maybe you could just pick who you're going to play. Like, absurdity.
Well, how about what he said about the trophy? I mean, people
piece of
going
metal.
Yeah, a piece of metal.
Yeah, just
You're
a
the
piece of
commissioner,
metal.
and this.
Right.
Oh my
In
goodness!
his league.
I give him 2 years. He'll be gone.
Well, I don't know.
I wish I could say the same thing for Greg Sankey.
Right.
Gone.
Well, the only thing that Manfred has going for him is the owners like him, and they want to negotiate with Manfred when they try to work out this new CPA. So he might be around. It doesn't matter what we think. Look, nobody's a fan of Roger Goodell, but he's not going anywhere. The owners love him.
Yeah. And, of course, XFL in week 2, I'll have some comments about that. Spring football coming up, and a lot on the show on a Wednesday night.
A whole lot more, and including Mike Scarborough, TigerBait.com. Can't forget about Mike. He'll give you his update from TigerBait.com to everything that's going on with that website. Definitely go check it out if you haven't done so. Once again, we're here at Scoreboards 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Very convenient to Airline Highway, in between Airline and Sherwood Forest. It's great food. Seafood is back. Get your boiled crawfish right here at Scoreboards. Come check it out. Great food, great people, and a great atmosphere to watch all your sports games. Scoreboards on Coursey. Come back and join us after this first break right here on Tigers Roar.
Remember what these trips were like before you put the screens in the back seats?
I don't want to think about it.
Are we there yet? I'm hungry. Where are we?
Go. That game should keep them occupied.
Oh, yeah!
Dad.
Oh, in your face!
Don't make me get back there.
You don't need a new car to have new technology. Mike's Audio, conveniently located on Airline Highway near the corner of Bluebonnet.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi folks, Clarence Buggs here. Coach Roger Cador would take the time to tell you how to catch our brand new show, The Roger Cador Show, but as you can see, he's kind of busy right now out at Scoreboards, Baton Rouge's newest sports grill with food that is absolutely amazing. Catch the show 8 o'clock Tuesday nights, 6:30 p.m. on Wednesdays and on Pelican Television's YouTube channel as well. You want to come out and have a great time. It's awesome, isn't it, Coach? Mm-hmm. Told you.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
By the Tigers Roar, John DePoche and the Budman, Buddy Sanja here on a Wednesday evening talking some LSU basketball. Lost last night to Kentucky Wildcats, 79-76. Me and Budman touched on in the first segment. The rotation has not been good. Defense, both on the three-point line and in the lane, has not been good. Teams have been making easy buckets on LSU all season. They now lost 4 of the last 5. 5 games left for the SEC tournament, Budman. We don't know if it can get fixed at this point.
Well, I do think it can get fixed, but of course, Coach Wade has got limited. You're seeing some highlights. There's Emmett Williams. What a nice stuff. And we know that here's what we're talking about, Coach. Watch all of these Kentucky opportunities, and there's just no defense on these dribble drives, and so you're shooting layups and you're shooting dunks, And in the second half, they go 7 for 7. You see what I mean? Here you got a guy that drives. There's no help defense. He lays it up and he gets the three the old-fashioned way. We know once again LSU did win the battle. How about the big blue? 11 blocks last night, JP.
11 assists for LSU with 12 turnovers. That is not winning basketball. We mentioned the rotation. Javonte Smart played 36 minutes last night. That was most on the team. Only had 7 points, shot 0 for 3 from three-point line, only 3 for 10 with field goals. That's not getting it done.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of people will say they don't have a true point guard, and I guess that's true to some extent. But here's the problem that the basketball pundits, the ones that really care, are telling me. They're not getting better. Look at the dribble drive penetration, your layup. I mean, it's unbelievable on defense, and LSU shooting 15 or 20s. So I'd love to see them, have an extra 2-3 passes. We know on offense it leaves a lot to be desired. Darius Days did have a double-double last night, but I'm hoping that you can find the switch. Kentucky hitting some 3 balls in the second half. They didn't give up. I give them credit there. There's Marlon Taylor. He had a couple of threes. You got to use his athleticism a little bit more. And Charles Manning is coming back. I want to see those guys get more minutes. And Javonte Smart has got to be playing a lot more like his namesake. He has not played Smart too often this year.
Charles Manning did provide a spark for the Tigers last night. 3 for 3 from three-point line. Had 11 points. Also had 2 rebounds, assist, and did have a turnover, but he did have a block. He played well in his limited minutes. He's going to have the contribution. You mentioned Turner Wofford earlier, a guy that's trying to show the NBA possibly. He has some range, so he's taking shots outside of his limits. 1 for 4 from three-point range last night, but he's not shy about putting it up there.
26% from 3. By the way, Skylar Mays shooting 37%, and obviously Marlon Taylor, it's a smaller sample size, shooting 38%. Charles Manning shooting 44%. Those are the best three-point shooters. Javonte Smart shooting a little over 30 at 31%. Darius Days, unfortunate, 28% from 3-ball this year. He's a better shooter than that, JP.
Yes. We'll hear from Coach Will Wade after the game last night against Kentucky, what he had to say about his team not doing the little things correctly and making the mistakes. It keeps on happening. It's the same old story. Each and every game season, LSU will fall down, make a run, try to come back late. Unfortunately, last 4 to 5 games, it hasn't been so. Picking up the losses. Here is Coach Will Wade and the 3 big contributors from last night's game, Skylar Mays, Darius Days, and Charles Manning.
Was it somewhat of a shock for the way Justina's been playing, or sort of not been a factor here lately, that he comes out and
not really. I mean, he's a good player. Kentucky's road splits are better shooting the ball. And I mean, we left him wide open. I mean, he's a good college player. Of course, he's going to make a wide open shot. So he'd been shooting it well earlier in the year. I know he'd struggled lately, struggled against Mississippi, struggled in a couple of the other games. But I mean, he had wide open corner 3, had wide open pick and pop 3. So I mean, he's a good player and going to make plays when you give him those opportunities.
Yeah. Will this game follow a familiar pattern in your eyes into some of your recent losses?
It's the same script. Same script. Give Kentucky credit. I thought they, he usually comes in and kind of runs all his pin downs and all that stuff. We were hoping he was going to run all that because we can guard that. And then second half, he just said, to hell with that. We're just going to spread him and drive him and get the he ran all his over-under stuff, got the mismatch, and then brought the high ball screen out there and just drove the hell out of us to the front of the rim, which was very, very smart. That's why he's in the Hall of Fame.
Coach, when you guys went down 15 late, that's as angry as we've seen you in a while. Were you upset with the effort of the team, or?
No, we just keep making the same mistake. Same guy keeps making the same mistake over and over and over again. And the same thing happened at Alabama. Same thing happened in this game. It gets frustrating.
You're almost 30 games into the season at this point. You are what you are, or can these things be improved?
Hopefully they'll be improved. If not, we'll be playing home games in the NIT.
Coach, after a month off, Manning had an incredible game. Where do you think that drive comes from after being off for so long to put up a game?
He played well. He played great. I thought our bench played well. We've been asking for our bench to play better. I thought Manning played better, and I thought Marlon did some good things for us as well.
presence of Richards and Montgomery down low, did that just
Killed us.
affect? Yeah.
Killed us. I mean, we talked all week about playing off two and showing Richards the ball. We just go in there and throw the ball off the backboard. I mean, I think our front line was, I mean, Emmett was 1 of 6. Days was what, 3 of 11? Is that right? Right? So 5 of 14. So that's 6 of 21 or 6 of 20 between those two. And then what was Watford?
3 for 13.
3 for 13. So that'd be 9 of 33. It's not going to get it done. Not going to get it done. Richards totally controlled the game defensively. He's as good as there is in the league in the charge circle with the shields, and he's gotten in great shape. His body looks great. You know, we just couldn't finish him. I thought Sestina played well. They posted him, and he did some good things too, not just making shots.
John? Well, I guess the end of the first half again got you. I mean, four turnovers and 3 missed shots.
Yeah, we
last
had
3 minutes.
Yeah, it hurt us. It hurt us. We should have. We had a 4-point lead and go in down 1. I was trying to, a couple of the turnovers, I was trying to call timeout, and I couldn't get the timeout in before we turned the ball over.
Ronnie? Yeah, you said that the same guy keeps making the same mistake over and over. I guess, what are your options there? What
I don't have any options. If I had options, I'd be playing other guys. I don't have other. I mean, we're playing who we have to play. Those guys have to get it fixed. I've tried. I mean, we've exhausted all options.
The guys said it. They feel like it's kind of a focus thing for them and just kind of staying locked in defensively. I mean, I'm sure there's some issues to fix, but how much of it?
Well, it's all the same thing. Usually, and I'm not acting like, oh, we've got all this great stuff, but in the first half, the defense is in front of our bench. So as a coaching staff, we can do a lot of thinking for them. We can call it out, tell what they're doing, get them in the right position, get them back. In the second half, the defense is away from our bench. So you have to have, like, we can't tell them everything that's going on because it's not in front of our bench. And so the second half, we usually give up a ton of points. That's where you got to have players step up and be able to do it. You listen to Kentucky, I mean, in the second half, we're running double drags and twins and different things out of our double drag, and Sestina's out there. He's talking everybody through the actions, and and Quickly's out there talking everybody through the actions. We don't have anybody that does that. And so that's why, Kentucky's been able to win a lot of close games, and we're kind of in the rut that we're in right now.
Just kind of what went wrong at the end of the half there, and how critical was that stretch there at the end?
They made plays, and they were able to execute, and we just didn't at that moment in time. They kind of played harder than us throughout the game, but sometimes in crucial moments where you can expand the lead and versus them cutting into it and even taking the lead, those are big moments.
Questions? Matt? I'll be shy if people put your hands on this, keep this moving.
11 blocks for them today and a lot of altered shots as well. Did that change the mentality of the offense attacking the rim after you saw how aggressive Richards and Montgomery were down low? Yeah, we haven't seen a rim protector as good as Nick Richards. And just probably a post presence in general. He did a great job controlling the paint and made it tough for us. And that's kind of our bread and butter. And he definitely made it a lot harder for us today.
John?
Scotty, from your perspective, what kind of went wrong in the second half? Obviously, Coach Wade was about as upset as we've seen him this year when you guys went down 15 there.
Yeah, they didn't miss much, and we didn't make it tough on them. We just have to be better on the defensive end. That's kind of the reason we're losing. We've lost 4 or 5, and we got to figure it out.
Billy, you good?
So once for Charles, you're plus 10 on the night and kind of extended minutes, I guess, for the first time. Just how do you feel out there? And you made a couple big shots as well.
I felt good. I felt like I could have contributed a little bit more on the defensive side. But Kentucky's a good team, and they play great.
Skylar, you said you didn't really make it tough on the defense. I mean, you've been here 4 years. I guess what is it that's been different? Why haven't you been making it tough on them defensively?
Them?
Yeah.
We just we're struggling to lock in. We're making a lot of mistakes that, you know, we've been taught not to do, and you know, for just for some reason in the flow of the game, we kind of get caught up and get in rotations and make simple mistakes. So, you know, we just got to regroup and, you know, get back in the win column.
Go ahead. Darius, you have 11 rebounds. Obviously, Kentucky's a big team. How do you approach a game like this when you know, this is a team with a big front line that you're going to have to like bang against all night?
It was really fun. Being down there with Montgomery and Richards, we haven't really played anybody like that this season, and it was really fun. I got to experience some things that I enjoyed. Me and the big guys down there, me, him, and Trent, even Marlon. We're gonna have to do better. Just come back and regroup. Do what we have to do to win.
You guys, a lot of you guys are a veteran bunch. How do you guys pull yourselves up and kind of build your guys' confidence back up collectively, just as a team?
We just got to hold each other accountable and just start doing the little things. Kentucky did 80% of the little things, diving loose balls, getting loose balls, and just second chance plays, second chance points. And that's just what we have to do. And we do that, we'll be back in the winning column.
Just to piggyback off what Dave said, I just feel like even just being here my first year, I feel like we just gotta, like Scott said, we just gotta lock in and just do what we was doing in the beginning and just focus in on the defensive end more than anything, because we can score. So.
Anybody else? Anybody else? That's good. Justin, John, either one.
Skylar and Darius, this deep into the season, 25, 26 games, are you frustrated that some of the same mistakes keep being made? Do you feel like some of these things would have been corrected by now, or just what's your take on that?
The only way we can correct it is ourselves, and we're just not, correcting it ourselves. And other than that, there's nothing else to say. We just corrected ourselves. We're going to begin winning again, just doing the little things like I said earlier.
Yeah, we could be in a much worse spot. This isn't exactly where we would like to be, especially losing 4 of our last 5. But we still got a chance to. If things go the way we would like, we could still potentially, win the league. But our sights are on the NCAA tournament and trying to make a deep run in March. So we still have a chance to do that. We just gotta, going back to making the right decisions on defense and letting that give us energy to make plays offensively.
Justin.
Skylar, earlier this week, Coach talked about rebounding. Y'all out-rebounded Kentucky, but it seems like once you kind of get one thing under wraps, something else comes out. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, like you said, the guys did a great job on the offensive glass, but they got a lot of threes off, and our three-point defense hasn't been great. And if we're gonna be the team that we expect to be, we've got to cover both of those patches. So we just got to come in with the right energy, and I'm excited about Saturday, and just ready to compete again with these guys. And these guys are playing hard, and I'm proud of them. But at the end of the day, we gotta get results. So.
All right, back here on Tigers Roar, Budman, LSU has 5 games to fix it before the SEC tourney. They sit right in the middle of the pack right now in the SEC. A lot of teams have multiple losses, taking on South Carolina this Saturday. Also have 4 losses in the SEC. I believe LSU needs to win that game Saturday.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Frank Martin is one of those guys that can really intimidate his players with that stare. But Carolina has an excellent home court advantage. This is something that we kind of broached the subject. But I do know Coach Wade would like to have a little more consistent team, a little more consistent attendance. They showed up in numbers, and I wasn't trying to mimic or, be too critical of the fan base last night. But don't you find it ironic, the difference between Tiger Stadium, the Pete Maravich Assembly Center, and the box? 3 different facilities, 3 different fan bases. They're all LSU fans, But you got to get some pizzazz and some passion in that Pete Maravich Assembly Center. Look, I think there's still a 7, 8, or 9 seed in the tournament, but you do not want to continue losing, because if you do, Joe Burrow and the LSU basketball fans are going to wave bye-bye and start concentrating more on baseball.
Last 5 games, you're at South Carolina, at Florida, home against A&M, at Arkansas, then hosting Georgia. Some winnable games. LSU just needs to execute their game plan, play a little better defense, keep winning the boards, the rebounds, with that 3-point defense. Got to have better runouts, get a hand in the face, contest some of these shots, because 3-point ball will kill you in college. If they get look at a team like Auburn, went all the way to the Final Four last year, living and dying by the 3-ball. Teams know how to shoot it. They practice shooting a lot more than they used to. And the analytics say, you know, if you take a lot of threes, yeah, you're going to miss some, but you have an opportunity to really bump up that score quickly. And LSU has fallen victim to that quite a number of times this season.
Yeah, by the way, since we've had a little bit of a gripe session on this Wednesday night, didn't think the referees did a great job last night. And was Jay Billis bored or what? That was about as monotone and disinterested as I've ever seen. Hell, I'd rather listen to Bill Walton after he smoked 4 doobies out on a left coast game. At least he gets a little creative. I mean, did you find Billis kind of disengaged last night?
Yeah, he wasn't into the game, but I mean, who could blame him? Both teams played poorly in the first half, missed wide open shots the entire first half. Second half did pick up. LSU had a great opportunity to be ahead in that game heading into halftime. Of course, they couldn't do it. Kentucky was up by 1, and then the final score, 3-point game, 79-76. LSU needs to bounce back and do it quickly. Take another quick break right here on Tiger Show. We'll come back and talk some LSU baseball. Coach Palmineri, opening season weekend, the game against Southern last night, and of course tonight in Thibodaux against the Nicholls State Colonels. Come back and join us right here on Tiger Shore.
Creel Tree Service is a licensed and insured tree service providing tree and stump removal, topping, trimming, cabling, pruning, and fertilizing. We have free stump removal with takedowns, free estimates, affordable rates, and senior citizens discounts. Call 774-TREE. That's 774-8733. Get your yard ready for the warmer weather. If it deals with a tree, call me, Creel Tree Service, 774-8733. That's 774-TREE.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, Hardy Planker siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows is honored to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
Remember the smell of vinyl? What happened to all your old records? Lost in a move? Thrown out by the ex? Get them back. Classic Vinyls Record Store and Collectibles, 13847 Coursey, where you can find all old vinyl, all genres of music, rock, country, blues, and R&B. Classic Vinyls and Collectibles behind Mary Lee Donuts and Coursey. If they don't have it, they'll get it. Look for them on Facebook. Classic Vinyls, sponsors of Classic Vinyls Classic Rock Night Thursdays at Scoreboards on Coursey.
I'll leave for a little while, and all you other letters think you can take over my town. Look at you. None of you's even involved. If the people want the money they deserve for their accident,
The E-Guarantee.
and as for you other letters, it's time you were erased.
Hi, Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
I've seen a lot of things during my life, more bad things than good. I've lived in a lot of places, but never a home. I don't think anybody cares about me anymore. And now I'm tired. Signed, Brian, age 11.
Abused and neglected children in East Baton Rouge Parish are in dire need of CASA volunteers. Please call 379-8598 today. Change a life of hurt into a life of hope.
Hello. Hola. Ni hao.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
Welcome back into Tigers Roar as we tape here on a Wednesday just after 6 o'clock. First pitch between LSU and the Nicholls State Colonels has now been thrown. We'll see what happens. I predicted Dan Cabrera goes deep in his first at-bat. Not looking like that right now. We'll see if it comes to fruition, but man, Dust thinks he'll go deep later in the game. But LSU sits at 3-1 after an opening series against Indiana. They played Southern Jaguars last night in a midweek game. Mikael here did get the win. But I want to take you back this weekend, Friday, 2 games on Saturday. Cole Henry got the start on Friday. He got the win, LSU's first game of the season. I had good first impressions, Bugman, especially with the pitching staff. You see some highlights right here from the last night's game. There's Mikael here. He did well in his start. I had good first impressions of the pitching staff. We talked earlier in the year about how LSU would hit more home runs this year on a new hitting coach, Eddie Smith. They're on pace to do so, and you got to love Gavin Dugas got all up into the baseball. He hit over the bleachers in left field. And there you see Cade Beluso, who legs out a triple in the RBI right here. And I don't know what the new celebration dance is on the bases, bud, man. That little twerking move they do sometimes, but the guys are having fun.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Of course, Cole, it's kind of, I don't know where they got that from. I like Get the Gat a lot better than that. And there you're looking at Gavin Dugas going deep. And look, this team's got more pitching than they've had in a long, long time. The key is keeping them healthy, throwing strikes, and figuring out their roles after they go to Houston. So we'll see. But we're going to let you hear from Coach Mainieri and some ball players. And I'm hoping that, they can come along and you'll get a better idea when they go to Texas to play, the 3-game set over there in Houston.
Right, took the first 2 games of the series against Indiana. Friday, the winning pitcher was Cole Henry. Saturday, the first game, Trenton Vittemeyer got the win. And then, of course, A.J. Labus was the start pitcher for the 3rd game. He gets the loss. But LSU didn't really play that well on the second game on Saturday. A lot of things didn't go their way. They see a great play from the catcher. Throwing guys out on the bases is something that LSU needed to improve on from last year, and I think they will do so this season.
Got a Bulldog. There's Alex Milazzo. He is a Bulldog from Zachary. Got to love this kid. He's going to be a nice addition. Hayden Travinsky, by the way, I think this might be him right here.
Yep.
His first. That's him, the big number 25. Can catch, can be a first baseman as well, and also can DH. So that's his first career home run. And as you alluded to, I'd love to see the Tigers hit 70, 75, 80 home runs.
I want to take you guys back to this weekend. Coach Paul Mainieri, his first impressions of his team. Gotta love seeing Coach Joe throw out the first pitch on Friday. Yeah, he threw it about 45 feet, but the catcher did catch it. Maurice Hampton is a football player. Nobody was really giving heat to Coach O for bouncing the ball. But
Coach O's not going to pull his wallet out for the next couple of years with drinks and food. But hey, if you don't have the arm, move up a little closer from the pitcher. And that way you don't. Well, it looked like he was trying to throw a curveball. It bounced in like a curveball.
We've all bounced curveballs before.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of pitching from the mound. Even little kids, when they pitch from the mound, it's always better. Even if you're going to bounce it, at least you had the stones to stand up on the rubber and try to fire it to the catcher. We'll let you guys hear from Coach Paul Mainieri and pitcher Jaden Hill right here on Tigers Roar.
I give a lot of credit to Indiana. I told you they had a good team. They have good arms. I mean, look how many arms they brought in that were throwing 90 miles an hour plus this weekend. And I also know that we were going to try a lot of guys. Hey, we pitched 15 different guys this weekend. The only guy that didn't pitch was Mikhail Hilliard, and he was unavailable because he had a little bit of a tight forearm the last few days. But he threw today in the outfield and felt good, and I would expect that he'd be ready on Tuesday, but he wasn't available for us this weekend. So I don't know if it would have made a difference or not, but we used 15 guys. This is how you find out, who you can count on. And we, our position players did a lot of good things this weekend, but this game we just didn't meet the challenge, of a good arm that they threw against us, and really 2 or 3 good arms that they threw against us. So, we won the series, and for me, this loss just means we're not going to go 56-0, and we just got to turn the page and get ready for 2 big midweek games. And give you a little quick history lesson. My second year here, 2008, we played Indiana to open the series, open the season, and we won the first 2 games and lost the 3rd game and went to Omaha that year. So, hopefully history will repeat itself.
The rest of the staff didn't have a great day, but Hill impressed.
Yeah.
98.
I mean, I didn't, I had hoped to pitch Hill in the 8th and 9th inning, but I just felt we're at that point in the game there where we just needed to stop them and stay in the game. I knew it was going to be hard late in the game, because he was only going to go 2 innings, but I just felt we were kind of in a desperate situation there. We needed a little bit of a spark, and I thought he gave us a spark, and we had an opportunity. We scored 1 run, and I think we had a couple of opportunities to get a few more home, and we just couldn't get them home. And he held us right there and gave us a chance. We just couldn't muster enough offense to overcome their good arms. And like I said, they didn't have arms like Jaden Hill, but they were pretty good arms. And I thought the wind hurt us a couple of balls. Cabrera hit one, and I thought Mathis hit one that if it wasn't as windy blowing in, blowing across, that maybe those balls would have gotten out of the park. And sometimes that's just the way it is in baseball. You have to deal with the issues, the weather conditions sometimes, and it's the same for both teams. They just played a little bit better than we did today, the second game.
Coach, defensively, are you happy?
There's a few. Most of the things I'm real happy with, yeah. But again, these are things we have to find out. We kicked a double play ball, and we had a couple other missed plays, and that's stuff we just got to tighten it up a little bit. But the kids are trying. They're young kids, and they're not going to play perfect. And they don't play perfect in the big leagues. Certainly not going to play perfect in college. So, I'm not going to, nitpick little things here and there about our team. We won 2 out of the 3 games. I'm going to dwell on the positive with the kids. And we got a big week ahead of us.
Mathis made maybe 1 error early, and then he seemed like he was on fire as far as defense goes.
Well, he's played great defense since he's been here, and the error was really kind of unusual for him. And he made an errant throw that Beloso made a great play in the first out of the 9th inning of the first game when we were trying to hold the lead. Shows Beloso's really improved at first base. I think he's, last year, he didn't take a lot of pride in his defense, and now he does, and he made a great play there leading off the inning. But Mathis doesn't throw the ball inaccurately very often, and that one he did. So it was good that Cade picked him up. So we'll figure it all out. We'll tighten things up a little bit and keep getting better.
Feels like a long time ago, but Milazzo's hit first game.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. I've loved Milazzo since the day I met him in recruiting. He's just got something about him. He's scrappy. He's hard nosed. He's a winner, and I think he's going to do some great things here at LSU. And that inning, if you remember, the first 2 guys struck out when we had runners on second and third and nobody out. and Milazzo stepped up and picked up his teammates and hit the ball in the gap and gave us the 3-run lead, which made it a little bit easier for us there in the 9th inning. Who knows what would have happened if he hadn't come through with that hit, because we were facing, as I recall, we were going to be facing the meat of their order going into the 9th inning. So, Fontenot settled in and got the outs, and we were able to put that game away, but Milazzo certainly came through with a big swing.
Coach, how big was David Fontenot for you today?
Yeah, Devin struggled a little bit in the 8th inning, but in the 9th inning I thought he looked pretty good, and that's Devin. You got to take the good with the bad. It's not always the prettiest thing. Some days it is. Some days he just dominates them. But as I've said many times, the job of the closer is to get the last out before the tying run or the winning run crosses the plate. And more often than not, Devin has done that in his career for us. So, it's a first outing for him and first outing for a lot of guys. And I think they'll continue to get better as we move through the season.
The freshman bats came out hot, kind of cooled off second and third games, but are you pleased with where they are, especially Cade Doughty?
Well, I thought Doughty, we were fighting to get back in the game there, and he smoked that ball to left field, and the wind hurt us when we hit balls to right field. I feel like it hurt us there. It kind of carried the ball to their left fielder. Had the wind not been blowing that way, it might have been a base hit, and we could have had a chance at a bigger inning instead of just a sacrifice fly. But yeah, I thought Cade Doughty really represented himself well this weekend, and we mentioned Milazzo. Toops did a couple of good things tonight. We got some young kids I think that can play, and I think Zach Mathis, as he loosens up a little bit now that he's got the first weekend under his belt, I think he's going to show that he's really an outstanding player. He hit a home run there in the 9th inning. It, obviously didn't affect the outcome of the game, but it was good to see him get into one. And, now I think he'll get it going, and I think he'll be a very vital player for us.
I'm going to ask you about playing Southern. I know.
Yeah, we got a big game with those guys Tuesday. They won again today, I believe. So they're 2-0 and may end up being 4-0 by the time we play them on Tuesday. And, Carrick's doing a tremendous job there, and it'll be a big game. Playing at an unusual time at 5 o'clock because of our basketball game that night. And hopefully the weather will clear and we'll be able to have a good game out here. I'm looking forward to it.
A lot of these early games when you learn the most about your team, is there anything you picked up so far this series?
Sure. Yeah, it's a lot of guys just their first outings, but it's cumulative with what happened in preseason and what happened with fall practice as well. So, as a staff, we'll sit down on Monday morning and we'll talk about everything that happened this weekend, and no final decisions have been made about any personnel based on on this weekend. But like I said, it's been a fall practice, preseason, and now 3 ball games. We're going to give some more guys a chance this week as we get going. Maurice Hampton, for example, is going to be a guy that's going to get more of an opportunity, and we'll see. It's going to take 2-3 weeks for us to really settle into what we think is going to be our best combinations going forward.
Very long time.
How did it feel?
It felt great. It felt great to be out there on the mound, helping my team, and so it felt great.
Last time we saw you was opening weekend of last year?
I know. I can even remember. It's been so long. But no, I was very excited to go out there. I had so many nerves, and I was just so anxious to get out there, and I was glad to be back.
You trying for 100? Trying for 100
I'm just trying to throw strikes. I'm just trying to throw strikes.
Are you throwing harder this year?
A lot harder. I feel a lot better. I feel a lot stronger, and that's all that really matters. I'm healthy. I feel great, and so I'm happy.
Miles per hour wise, how hard are you throwing? Harder, would you say?
I don't know. I started last year and I'm closing this year, so it's a different role for me. I'm able to give more than I would be at a starting role, and so I don't know how hard I throw until I come to the sideline and they tell me. So I try to keep it just, do my job. I think my first outing, 91, 94. I think I set 91, 94 in that area.
So you're up a good 3-4 miles.
Yeah.
You had pretty good success today. What was working well for you on the mound?
Fastball. I had to get my nerves out first, get the fastball going. Then I started getting changeup going and everything like that. But the fastball worked out very good for me.
What's going on mentally for you, having been out so long and getting back out there?
I try to stay mentally, happy. Just stay, calm and happy. I just stay in the training room. I feel prepared, and so that helps out a lot. Rather than going out there, second guessing myself, I'm in the training room all the time, in the weight room, taking care of myself, and so by doing that, I feel 100% better on the mound.
do you think Labus pitched?
Amazing. I've never got to see him pitch, you know, so it's my first time, and I was so excited for him. I was just on the bench the whole time. He did amazing. So good, so good.
You and him, your two pieces that weren't available last year, right? I mean, you feel like it's really going to enhance the team.
1,000%. And there was a lot of guys today that you didn't get to see their best. And so that's going to be a thing. Once they settle in and get all their nerves out, we have a pitching staff.
Outside of a couple guys, the bullpen as a whole, pretty solid.
Very, very.
That showed kind of the future for this season?
1,000%. And like I said, you know, once they settle in and get used to everything, those guys, they're amazing. I got to see things in the fall and the spring that some guys didn't get to see, and their potential is through the roof. Through the roof.
How does that help build trust with the
A lot. It really helps the hitters. You know, they're not always going slow. You know, the game is going up tempo, and it really helps them. It gets their the energy for them going, and obviously you can see that they can hit very, very well, and so that helps them a lot.
With a lot of guys that are contact guys and not a lot of swing and miss guys, obviously it's going to put a lot of pressure on the defense, but a pretty solid effort too. How much confidence does that give you guys, no matter who it is, that you've got a solid 8 behind you?
It gives us a lot, and it also puts pressure on us because with that being said, with them hitting good, we have to pitch good. We have to back them, you know, we have to back them up. They can't hit good unless pitch bad. And so I think it just all comes together. With them hitting good, we want to go out there and give our all for them.
As a team, how hard is it to play 2 back-to-back like that? I know you haven't had to deal with that much as a pitcher.
Right.
You just play out for that.
You know, it's tough because sometimes you get mentally out of the game, but, you know, we'll learn as we go, and, you know, it'll get better for next time.
All right, that was Paul Mainieri and pitcher Jaden Hill, a sophomore, after this weekend's matchup against the Indiana Hoosiers. Of course, you heard Mainieri kind of preview the Southern game, which happened last night. Right now, as we sit here at scoreboards, at about 6:25, LSU is squaring off against Nichols. Right now, 3-2 count, Eric Walker on the mound. LSU did those bases in the first inning, couldn't get any runs across. You had Saul Garza strike out with 2 men on, and then Maurice Hampton, a young man that we both think a lot of. Great athlete, played on the football team. He'll play center field for the Tigers for a little bit this year. Does have a great looking swing. Doesn't get cheated in the box. You know, he's a strong kid. He played football. He's got to see more pitches, I think. You know, he didn't have the offseason that a lot of other guys did because he was busy going to the White House. You know, things that champions get to do.
Yeah.
Just give the kid some time.
Yeah, give him some time. By the way, Jaden Hill has the kind of stuff that could be a starter. You know, what do? You put him in a starter in the weekend. It just depends on what happens with Landon Marceau and A.J. Labus. But also Nick Starrs. I think Nick Starrs is going to help them out a lot in the bullpen. Devin Fontenot's still potential to be a great closer. So going to be a lot of fun. Long season in bases, though.
Don't go anywhere. We come back from this break. We'll be joined by Mike Scarborough of TigerBait.com. We'll get his take on everything that's going on with the Tigers. Hear a little bit about recruiting and a whole lot more. Don't go anywhere. This is Tiger Shore. He's Buddy Sanji. I'm Jonathan Poche, and we're at Scoreboards 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Come check it out. The games are on. The food is good. And you can't beat this atmosphere. Once again, come back and join us right after this break, right here on Tiger Shore.
Taste the feeling.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi folks, Clarence Buggs here. Coach Roger Cador would take the time to tell you how to catch our brand new show, The Roger Cador Show, but as you can see, he's kind of busy right now out at Scoreboards, Baton Rouge's newest sports grill with food that is absolutely amazing. Catch the show 8 o'clock Tuesday nights, 6:30 p.m. on Wednesdays and on Pelican Television's YouTube channel as well. You want to come out and have a great time. It's awesome, isn't it, Coach?
Mm-hmm.
Told you.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bugman, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bugman today, 923-BUGS. And we welcome you back. Tigers Roar on a Wednesday night. It is now time to be joined by Mike Scarborough with TigerBait.com, our recruiting guru and pundit. Been doing it a long time, Mike. Happy hump day, happy hump night, and obviously it is the middle of the week, but not that much going on. But in recruiting, you never slow down. So let's kind of give everybody an overview about 2021, and it certainly looks like the early signs point to Coach O and his staff having another great recruiting year coming up, Mike.
Yeah, no doubt. We've this, of course, the end of February is a dead period, and then once LSU, about the week that they start spring practice on March 7th, the recruiting season will kick into gear, and they'll start hosting recruits every weekend, midweek practices, etc. And that'll be nonstop. Of course, you know, when the early signing period started a few years ago, prospects could start taking official visits. So you'll start to see a little bit of that start to happen late in the spring evaluation period. And coming off a national championship, this is really where you reap the rewards of winning that national championship and all the, I mean, what would you say the price tag would be on all that publicity that the national championship gave LSU? You couldn't put a price tag on that. So this is when you'll see the benefits of it. And you had asked me earlier today who might the next commitment be. And, you know, we're looking at Garrett Nussmeier, the quarterback from Marcus High School in Texas. You know, him being an early commitment, he's going to announce on April 18th. So, and that goes with what he broke the news with us back in December, that he would be doing it sometime around Easter. So there you have it.
Hey, nothing happened with Tommy Robinson to South Carolina and Kevin Falk making the seamless transition. Did you ever hear any more on that?
No, but it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out here in the coming weeks, because you know that's one thing for sure, that you know you want to have your staff kind of locked in and down pat once you start spring football practice, and you know, particularly with recruits, and you know who's going to be coaching tight ends, linebackers. I mean, there's still some stuff to happen here.
All right, Mike, you mentioned Garrett Nussmeier doing his verbal commitment in April. How do you play this thing with Caleb Williams? JP, do you wait for Caleb to make a decision? Do you let Nussmeier commit? How is this going to play out, and how you think LSU wants it to play out, Mike?
Well, look, to me, when you got your passing game coordinator and you start, you know, doing some immediate background of where he's been and all that, and it just really webbed the weave that it sure looked like Nussmeier was the guy. Then about that time, Caleb Williams went to Oklahoma. You know, some folks out there were saying that he was trending to the Sooners. Then he had Clemson, him in a Clemson uniform as his main Twitter photo. Then a few days ago, he tweeted a photo of him in an LSU gear.
That's right.
So something's going to be happening here. It's all got to shake out. But to me, you don't wait on either one of them. It's a bird in hand, and I think it's trending Nussmeier for LSU.
Mike, I know on TigerBait.com you have a story right now about Shaz Preston, a guy that plans to visit, you know, half the SEC, plays at St. James. He's going to get his tour. And talk about that young man and what he's going to be facing.
He's an incredible wide receiver. Of course, got an offer from LSU last summer, class of 2022. The St. James football program, of course, is just a juggernaut and going to continue to be for years to come. Of course, LSU offered his defensive end teammate Savion Jones. So I think, look, he's really one of them kids that they saw early than everybody else and got in on him. His older brother, though, of course, is safety at Mississippi State, but he told us that he's going to be going to, I think I counted up 7 or 8 SEC schools in the coming weeks for unofficial visits. And but to cut through it all, it's LSU and Mississippi State are really the main 2 schools. Like I said, he's class of 2022, so he's going to take his time and go all the way to the wire. But he's a great kid, exceptional wide receiver, and of course the state is loaded with him. And for 21, you got Brian Thomas, Chris Hilton, and many others. So that wide receiver is not going to be a problem for LSU for a long time.
It is amazing, JP and Mike, just the number of wide receivers that have been attracted to LSU, and now that you have this newfound offense. Mike, I had a question. We didn't talk recruiting today, but a guy wanted to know if you think LSU is going to throw it as much as they did this year as they did last year, and how the quarterbacks, receivers, and running backs will look to see what LSU does on offense this year. What do you think with obviously Linehan and Coach E, and obviously handing it off to Miles Brennan and other QBs?
Man, I tend to think that they're going to run it more. But, you know, we really don't know. It's going to be a different era for sure. The question is how far does LSU take a step back from Joe Burrow, a once-in-a-lifetime prospect that you and I are likely to never see a season like that again. So, that's what spring practice is for, and Miles Brennan is going to be there with 3 others, 4 scholarship quarterbacks starting March 7th, and certainly it's not only the post Joe Burrow era. It's also the post-Clyde Edwards-Helaire era. And so Tyrion Davis-Price, Emory, Chris Curry, who came on and really pushed the flag into the ground. So, yeah, we're going to see how this all plays out.
Any idea where those 2 scholarships to grad transfers may go?
No, on signing day, I kind of just, you'd asked me that, and I said, boy, I think it's, it's maybe a center or a linebacker. Then a couple hours later, Coach Orgeron met with the media and said what I said. So we'll see how that plays out here in the coming weeks. But that whole thing you and I talked about earlier today, again, about the NCAA having a meeting about transfer rules, man, this whole thing could get turned on its ear real quick.
Mike, April 18th, LSU spring game. We found out yesterday that it will be at A.W. Mumford Stadium. We got to tip the hat to Southern to play host for LSU. They're getting their field resodded, so it's going to be a cool event for LSU spring game to be at Southern on that campus on the Bluff.
No, I think it's awesome. I'd gotten word a couple of weeks. It was right when they started, preparation for Clemson. And kind of figured that was probably going to be the likely place, because Memorial was not going to work. And I think it's going to be a unique deal. They've got a brand new field and they've put money in it, and I think it's going to be a packed house. I really do.
Tip of the hat to Roman Banks, of course, who was doing the show with Overtime tonight. I know him and Chris, and I have a lot of topics, and I can't wait to see. I was talking to Coach Banks last week about that. I mean, can you imagine the tailgating, the bands, the fan bases? I mean, this is great that these 2 teams are going to get together, and of course, they'll have an official announcement on when that game is, but I think it's great for Baton Rouge, and it's great for that relationship. And as we talked earlier, JP, got a great relationship with baseball, and Skip went over and played baseball, so it's nothing but good for the city, and Coach Banks really helped LSU because they had nowhere to play this spring game this year, Mike.
No, because it was like the NCAA requires you play it in your city, so if it wasn't going to be Southern and Memorial, they just weren't too enthused about that natural surface and how rough it is. So then you're like, well, you certainly, if that's bad, you're not playing it at Olympia. Doug Williams Stadium, I mean, doing it at U-High only in front of family and parents and SEC network cameras. Southern was the most logical scenario, and they got it done.
Hey, let's kind of wrap up our segment by talking about positions and players, and obviously Mason and a lot of other guys you feel are strong leans. What are we looking at, Mike, going into the start of the season? You think LSU will be around that 15 number with verbal commitments again?
I think so. I think they'll be less than last year, but they'll be in the teens at that point, and then we'll see towards the end if it's going to be a similar breakdown as the class of 20 in regards to the breakdown of in-state kids versus out-of-state and recruiting nationally.
All right, Mike, tell everybody about TigerBait.com.
Yeah, we've got it all for you. We're really rolling out the recruiting content here in the next week or two leading up to spring football. We're going to have all your spring football coverage. So if you're an LSU fan, you really need to go on TigerBait.com, give us a subscription. We highly recommend the annual package, and that saves you, basically gives you 3 months for free. So TigerBait.com, we'd love to have you.
Hey, one final tidbit, guys. Just think about how strong and how incredible Shaq's son, Sharif, is coming to play. Boy, that's a mighty big shadow, and to have your daddy out there with the statue and all the things that Shaq has done for LSU. Mike, a lot of people want to know what you think he's going to bring to the table.
Yeah, look, they need bodies. We saw that against Kentucky. We're seeing it here late down the stretch where you've only got so many guys giving you big numbers of minutes. You need able bodies that, so you're not burned out towards the end of the season. And there's still a couple of more possibilities for Will Wade in who to bring in the program for next season.
All right, Mike. Thanks again. Great job as always. Look forward to speaking with you next week.
All right, talk then. Thanks.
Thank you, Mike.
Mike Scarborough from TigerBait.com. Always a great segment here on Tigers Roar. Only a few minutes left on the show. We're going to wrap up with a little NBA talk. It was All-Star Weekend. Over this past weekend, they had the Tips competition, the All-Star Game, and that dunk contest. New format for the All-Star Game. I know you were a fan, right, Bob Man?
Yeah, no doubt about it. Usually, as we've talked about these All-Star games, whether NBA, the Pro Bowl, I think it's going to go by the wayside. They're playing touch football with the Pro Bowl, but they did it with the tribute to Kobe, as everybody knows, and the way they had it set up is that they had a differential, and you had to score 157, and man, whether it was CP3 shooting a three or LeBron James or all those great players, it was awesome to see, them playing defense, but secondly, a competitive game. And that's I don't know how they'll keep that trend going, but that really worked well this year.
Right. I mean, the intensity was definitely there. It's hard to know if it was because of the tribute to Kobe. He had just passed. The All-Star MVP award was named after Kobe. You know, everybody talks about the Mamba mentality, not taking any days off, working for everything. So it's hard to know if this is going to be the tradition now for this NBA All-Star game, if it was just a one-time deal. But the intensity was there. They were playing defense. Towards the end of that game, they were complaining to the refs they weren't getting calls.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like watching a real game, which I really enjoyed.
And as you said, Kyle Lowry took a couple of charges. LeBron James is a mammoth man. You don't realize on TV how big and cut he is. And oh, by the way, nothing for LBJ, but they just had a recent poll. 60% of the people polled thought Michael Jordan was the greatest of all. But right now, LeBron James tough to beat. Glad to see they came up with a great way, A, to honor Kobe, but B, to make it competitive. And it was great TV to watch the end of that All-Star game.
Brandon Ingram, the Pelicans forward, he made the All-Star team. Didn't do much in the All-Star game, but it was good to have some New Orleans love in Chicago for the game. It was kind of tough watching Anthony Davis do his thing. Haven't seen many Laker games since he went to Los Angeles. But CP3, his demeanor on and off the court, the way he's so competitive, the way he gets all the players around him going, I really miss that guy in the Crescent City.
Yeah, no doubt about it. CP3, I'm watching all the State Farm commercials, and the guy's trying to be CP4, but hey, look, he was, and let's be honest, they hadn't had a lob and a dunk since he left like that.
I don't know how much of the All-Star Slam Dunk contest you watched, Budman, but these dunks have become ridiculous these days. You have to throw the ball off the backboard, jump over a man, go between your legs, do a spin, then throw it down just to get a perfect score. The two in the finals, Aaron Gordon, Derrick Jones Jr., I think they both deserve the trophy.
No controversy.
Aaron Gordon dunks over 7'5" Taco Fall. Yeah, you could say he clipped his head a little bit at the end. Maybe he got the hands, he was holding the ball. Both dunks were incredible. Derrick Jones Jr. leaps from 1 foot inside the free throw line. That's 14 feet in the air, and then he slammed it down with authority. These guys are incredible to watch. I think basketball does their All-Star break the best out of any of the three big sports.
No doubt about it. Be safe. Enjoy your Mardi Gras. Of course, we'll be back over here next Wednesday. Don't forget corn, potatoes, crawfish, shrimp. It's all for you, folks, with great seasoning. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Come see us at Scoreboard. See you next week, everybody.